Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Mike. I am from Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm 20 years old, and I'm here to talk today about the RIFE machine and the GB4000 that I am currently using and experimenting for myself. I'm here to kind of explain to you what I've been dealing with for the past 2.5 years that haven't been explained, that need to be cleared up. That, there are diseases on the West Coast. There are a lot of things like Lyme Disease, Q fever. There's a lot of different diseases out over here that we've been popping up and that doctors have been ignoring. So anyways, I'm going to dive into my story a little bit. This is just going to be a intro to my YouTube and then after that I'm just going to progressively go and show you day to day with the RIFE machine, my experimentation with using it. And I think it's a great way for people to see that it is not harmful. It brings you back to reality, basically, instead of being a drugged up zombie all day. I believe in this product. I believe it can really help to make people feel better and to get them back with their lives and get them back on track. So anyways, I'm going to go back a little bit. I'm going to go back 2.5 years, actually. 17 years old, basketball player, would not, played every day. I loved playing ball. And that kind of went away when, I had this fishing trip with my buddies. So, going from playing basketball every day, going out every day, loving life, never being depressed or having anxiety, just always being active, never in the house, So when I went fishing with a couple of buddies of mine, we went down to the Jordan River. It's about 10 minutes away from my house, not even that far. So I feel bad for people who do get bit by mosquitoes around there because there's a lot of insects over there. And obviously if I'm popped up for Q fever, which that is the diagnosis that I just got yesterday on the 16th or 15th, there's a real concern over there. But anyways, I'm going to dive into it some more. So we were fishing and, we went later at night, which is really bad because there's so many mosquitoes, and we had no idea. This is my first time going down that area to fish. Went down there, bam, like I'm getting mulched. Like everybody, like I'm getting attacked by like 80 to 90 mosquitoes. So we finally are like, we can't take this. So we get out of there. We're jumping over fences because we're in like a restricted zone. I know we're, kids, So we're jumping over this last fence, and I remember it felt like a shot at a doctor's office in the arm, but it hit me right in the back. And that one was like, wow. And it just kind of hit me. And so, and then the month went on. That was late July. So August went through, and I started noticing a little bit of anxiety and depression. But I never really thought of it as those bug bites. I never, and my brother who has Lyme disease, I should have definitely learned that, I might have a disease of that sort, but I just thought it was depression or anxiety because that was the key things that was happening. My nervous system was messed up. I felt weak, and that's a mistake, or well, lesson learned. I shouldn't say mistake, but and that's okay, because I've learned a lot through this journey. But let's go to my senior year, school starting up, and I'm driving to school, and and I think I'm like 2 minutes away from my school, and bam, just just dark feelings and anxiety, and I really felt like I went off the deep end. Like I could not control my thoughts, and first class I sit down and I'm just like, wow, I need to go. Got up, went straight. Well, actually, I was there and I kind of had an anxiety and panic attack. I called my mom and she came picked me up, went home, and then 2 or 3 days later we went to my doctor's. And he said, you have anxiety and depression. I'm like, well, duh, like, what do you want to do about it? And, of course, prescription medication. I've never done prescription medication before, and that was a huge thing for me. And I couldn't believe that this guy was just like, well, here's that. Well, why? Now that I'm a little bit wiser, I'm like, wow, why didn't he just say, why don't you just boost your immune system? Why don't you, eat healthier? Because obviously, 17 years old, you're not going to be sitting there, eating the greatest food every day. So, he did that, my first mistake or lesson, and so that went on for about a month. I think it's October time, and I shouldn't say I'm much better. I'm kind of peaking a little bit to like where I'm like, oh, well, maybe I just need a little bit of a higher dose of medication. So they recommended Abilify, which was hands down the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life. Took the medication. I think 1 or 2 days later, or the day of, I should say, later at night, just bam, just heat flashes, suicidal thoughts, just any kind of thing you can imagine was happening to me, and I'm like, holy cow, like what is going on? So I'm scared. I'm obviously just not in a right mindset. But anyways, that I wouldn't leave my room. Stayed there for about, I don't even, like 6 or 7 months. Just played Xbox, and I couldn't come to the realization. I was like, wow, like this, I'd rather die than this. So and that 6 or 7 months later rolls down, and it's April, and I'm full on beard, pale skin, hair's long, and I'm not taking care of myself whatsoever. And my mom's like, we're gonna go take care of you. So we go to this lady who's right across the street from me. She's literally like a minute away from my house. I can walk there. And she's like, well, let's go to that appointment. I'm literally sitting there like, no, I can't do that. Like, she's literally right there. I can't go. Like, I'm scared out of my mind. So I finally get up the courage to go, and I'm obviously like freaking out. I'm having a nervous breakdown going down the street. So I finally get there, and she does doTERRA oils, and she, rubbed the oils on my skin, and did the aroma touch therapy. I got up and I was like, wow, like what a difference. Like just body felt up, everything was, confidence was a little bit there, and I just felt really good. So right after that, I went straight to a buddy's house that was like 10-15 minutes away, and I went and hung out with him for a little bit. So, the effects of natural healing, that was just a stepping stone, and I'm extremely grateful for that. It was a little stepping stone to push me in the right direction. Everything happens for a reason with this stuff, and that's something that I love that I went that route first, or second, I should say, with the medication. But, and I'm still having, I'm still just not doing well. I'm still having, I'm still scared to go out of the house. I'm still scared to, and I finally get up the courage. I go to my high school graduation, which I barely passed. It was, I had to do homeschooling or home hospital basically. And as I'm sitting there, going to graduation, I'm obviously still, I was like, as you can imagine, if you have anxiety or depression or nervousness, you're going to sit there and totally understand with what I'm going through. I'm sitting there with thousands of people looking at me. And so anyway, so that, that went by. And I'm sitting there, and it's 2015 or 2014, I should say. And the year goes by, I get a job, and and I'm still just I'm not peaking yet. I'm not like, why am I not getting better? Like, I'm doing the massages, I'm eating healthy, I'm taking vitamins, and my immune system just keeps failing and failing and failing, and I'm just like, wow, like what is going on? And I'm also playing basketball again a little bit, not a lot, but I'm still working out. So, 2014 goes by, and then 2015 comes around, and there's still that gap. So I finally am talking with my brother, or my brother kind of came around, because me and my brother don't really talk, because we're kind of like I don't know how to explain it, but he's kind of sick, and I'm sick, and we just kind of keep to our own corners. So we don't really talk, but, I was playing basketball one day, and, I invited him. I said, hey, come play ball. And he's like, sure, yeah, I'll come play. And I was like, wow, like really? And he's the same as me. He was kind of in his own world. He didn't really want people to talk to him. So we get over there, he's got his big jacket on, and I'm like, wow, like, I'm like, what's with the big jacket? We're just kind of goofing around. We're talking, and he takes off the jacket, and I'm like, wow, like, what did you do? And he's like, what do you mean? His arms were just just very skinny. He was a really chunky kid, 15 to 17, or I should say, 14 to 16. He wasn't taking care of himself. He was eating unhealthy, and he had Lyme disease. And so I'm sitting there looking at him, and I'm like, Mark, what are you doing? I said, what did you do? Like, are you like a heroin like, I'm literally stunned. Literally, this kid has been just like me, weak, fatigued, mental confusion, stuff like that. And I'm like, how? I'm like, are you okay? Like, are you sick? And he's like, no, I've been rifing. And I'm like, you're talking about that electronic thing you've been doing upstairs? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, wow. And I didn't even I think it was like November or October of like 2015. And I'm like, wow, like that is amazing. Like he did that over the summer. And I'm like, man, maybe I need to get on that thing. So I go on to it for the first time, and I kind of waited till January. I didn't do it that year, but the next year, 2016 came around. I finally get up the courage to do it because I'm me and being like, dude, I don't want to get killed or something doing this thing, and everybody's like, no, just relax and do it. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. Let's just try it out. So I do it for the depression one because I'm still pretty depressed and having anxiety. So I'm like, maybe that might help. So we end up doing it. I do the frequency and just really weird, like, I don't know how to explain it, but I felt like I had just this burst of energy like hit me, and I was like, wow. And I was moving around, I was helping my mom, I wasn't just sluggish, I didn't feel fatigued as much, and just crazy stuff. And I felt really good. But then, like the third or fourth time you get the herxing feeling, and bam, I kind of went down a little bit, but and I got back up on it because I stopped rifing. But finally, my mom came to me and said, Mike, we got to get you tested for some Lyme disease and Q fever, just to check you out. She said, just to check you out because you've had some same symptoms as Mark, my brother, and fatigued, muscle aches, joint aches, a lot of different stuff. And I was like, let's just do it. I was feeling good with the rifing. I was like, why don't we just go do it? So we go to the doctor's office, get the blood test. I'm waiting 3 to 4 days, and I'm getting kind of anxious. And finally, the fax comes in with my blood test, and I'm positive for Q fever. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, like this whole time I've been thinking I'm depressed and I have an autoimmune disease, and I'm sitting there and I'm just kind of, I just didn't know what to do with myself at this point, and obviously, bam, RIFE machine, let's just zap it, so that, that's a little bit of what I've been going through with my anxiety, depression, and just stuff like that. And it's been Q fever. It's been an autoimmune disease this whole time. Well, I don't know if it's been this whole time, but I'm pretty sure it's been this whole time. So this YouTube blog, or vlog I should say, is mainly going to be me and my day-to-day trials with how I react to the herxing. And those of you who don't know what herxing is, it's like a side effect of what you do, and everybody's is different. You don't know what everybody's is going to be. So I really hope that this rifing can help me and to better my life, because I've seen my brother, and my brother's looking 20 times better than I am physically. He's got a part-time job now. He's about to graduate high school, and he's really active. And I think if I was to do this for as long as he did it for about 6 months to a year, I think I can get back on track, and I believe that this is going to help, so I hope, if whoever watches, I don't know who's going to watch this, but just to know that, maybe look a little bit deeper, from just thinking it's a mental illness or something. Just think back. I would have never suspected it. I would have never, just till recently, I would have never thought it was those mosquitoes from that day, which I'm pretty positive, because it was 2 to 3 weeks later, as the side effect, or as the thing was saying, your symptoms will pop up. So I'm just here to tell you, I'm going to be keeping it every day, showing you my progress, and to just go from there, and I hope I can inspire some people to, look a little bit deeper and just know that there is a problem in the West Coast with autoimmune diseases coming from the East Coast. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Just tune in every day. I'm going to be rifing every day and try it out. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. Take it easy, guys. Hope you guys have a good day. Bye.